During the British presence in India, first under the East India Company and later as Crown rule, military officers routinely exploited their positions for personal gain. Corruption took multiple forms, persisted despite periodic reforms, and shaped both company policy and Crown administration. Company officers were formally prohibited from engaging in private commerce, but many nonetheless bought and sold supplies on their own account, took kickbacks from contractors, and accepted bribes from local rulers or merchants to secure favorable treatment. Even after the Regulating Act of 1773 outlawed private trade, enforcement was weak and malfeasance continued, with officers using their logistical roles to skim funds or demand side payments. Some officers drew pay, rations, and clothing for fictitious troops, so-called ghost regiments, and kept the surplus. Others deliberately under-provisioned real units, purchasing low-quality food or fewer supplies than authorized, pocketing the difference. The batta field allowance was a frequent flashpoint. Originally intended to cover officers' out-of-pocket expenses, it was doubled under local rulers and then abruptly cut by the company, provoking the Monghyr, white, mutiny of 1766, when some 200 officers threatened mass resignation over the reduction. When Robert Clive ordered Bengal officers' batta payments aligned with those elsewhere in India, many viewed it as a clandestine tax on their livelihood. Secret plans for mass resignations and the discovery of large funds sent by Calcutta civilians to support the dissenting officers underscored how deeply allowances had become a source of personal profit. As late as 1946 and 1947, Sir Arthur Hope, governor of Madras, was found to have diverted thousands of pounds intended for Red Cross relief into personal debts. Hope tapped a special pot account with grossly inadequate auditing. Ultimately, London quietly covered his liabilities rather than expose the scandal publicly. Parliamentary interventions, such as the Regulating Act of 1773 and Pitt's India Act of 1784, sought to curb private trade, enforce stricter accounting, and place the company under closer Whitehall control. Despite these measures, enforcement remained uneven across vast territories, and many officers continued to manipulate procurement and allowances for personal benefit. Audits, court-martials, and occasional high-profile dismissals acted as deterrents, but never fully eradicated the problem. Corruption in the British military during colonial rule weakened trust between officers and the Indian populace, undermined logistical efficiency, and fed broader criticisms of company governance. Though formal structures later transitioned into the Indian Army under the Crown, the patterns of supply chain malfeasance and allowance abuse left a lasting imprint on military administration in the subcontinent. Overall, while successive reforms reduced overt abuses, systemic temptations, vast distances, minimal oversight, and lucrative local markets ensured that military corruption remained a persistent feature of British rule in India.